The House on Dirty Third Street, written by Joe Kittinger, illustrated by Thomas Gonzalez. Mom said starting over would be an adventure, so I imagined a tropical island with palm trees and a buried treasure. Not this. All the houses on 33rd Street were old and run down, but the one with the for sale sign was the worst. I'd call the whole place Dirty Third Street. It's perfect, said Mom. It doesn't look perfect to me, I said. It's perfect, she said, because we can afford it. Try looking at it through eyes of faith, said Mom. I squinted and tilted my head. It still looks horrible to me. Soon the house on 33rd Street was ours, but before we could start moving things in, we had to move trash out. A neighbor watched from her front porch. Hi there, Mom called out to her. I've hired a man to take a load to the dump. Is there anything you'd like to add to our trash pile? I don't know. The woman sounded like she hadn't trusted anyone in years. Before long, Mom and I were wrestling an old sofa from Mrs. Huddle's porch to the curb. By the end of the day, word had spread. The pile in front of our house became a mountain. The bathroom was so filthy it made shivers run down my back. It will look and smell better when it's clean, Mom told me. So all day Saturday we swept and scrubbed. I was dog-tired and grouchy. Clearing away the trash and dirt just made it obvious how ugly the place truly was. This house will never look good, I mumbled. You may be right, said Mom. She sank to the floor in the corner. What was I thinking? I slumped down beside her and leaned my head against her shoulder. Remind me, I said. How did you see it? I saw a pretty white house with blue shutters, she said. There were flowers on the porch. The windows sparkled and curtains danced in the breeze. The kitchen was full of friends, and I smelled cookies hot from the oven. Mom's eyes got dreamy looking. Then she shook her head. I miss our old neighborhood, she said, and my friends from church. We can make new friends. I stood up and dusted myself off. I saw a church a few blocks away. Let's go in the morning. After breakfast, we walked to the church. In Sunday school, the teacher asked if anyone had prayer requests. We just moved here, and our house needs lots of work, I said. I don't want my mom to cry anymore. Please pray that she can still see the house with eyes of faith, and that I somehow can see it that way too. Not long after we got home, I heard a knock at the door. Good afternoon, ma'am, a man said when Mom opened the door. At church this morning, I heard you could use some help around here. Mom was showing him the broken bricks on the porch when Mrs. Huddle walked across the street. Thought these might cheer things up, she said. Once upon a time, my flowers used to bloom on near about every porch in this neighborhood. Mrs. Huddle started transplanting the flowers into an old cement planter in the yard. A few minutes later, a car pulled up. Next thing I knew, a whole family was heading our way, including my Sunday school teacher and a girl my age. Welcome to the neighborhood, my teacher said. My husband's a great handyman. The man took one look at the peeling paint and then pulled out a cell phone. Let me get a few more folks over here, he said. By the next weekend, our house looked like an anthill. Men on the roof hammered shingles. My new friends and I scraped peeling paint. A lady fixed loose bricks on the porch. Another neighbor worked on the plumbing. The sun settled behind our house, and the workers took a break. I opened the door, and the smell of cookies, hot from the oven, made my mouth water. Finally, I could see it, our place, as Mom had through the eyes of faith. We had found our perfect home. And somehow I knew that I wouldn't call it Dirty Third Street anymore.